getting ready to start the video.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's start off. Fun call. What was it? So you
Time being 6:30, I call a meeting to order. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Kurt, would you please introduce our town attorney, Jeremy Page, and our town planning consultant, Monty Radcliffe?
My pleasure, Mayor and Council. It's my pleasure to introduce our new attorney. I'd like to read a brief bio of his accomplishments. Jeremy began his legal career in 2016 with the municipal law firm in Tarrant County, has been with the Brown and Hoffmeister law firm since 2018. Where he's become a partner in 2024. Over the course of his career, he's developed extensive knowledge in municipal government and regularly advises local governments on a wide range of issues, including land use, civil rights, policing, code enforcement, open records, municipal court matters, and other regulatory issues. He currently serves as a city attorney for the city of Haslett and assistant city manager for the city of McKinney. Jeremy earned his Bachelor's of Science in Public Administration, Political Science, and Economics from the University of Arkansas, graduating magna cum laude in 2013. He went on to receive his law degree from the University of California, Los Angeles School of Law in 2016. Since returning to Texas, he has focused his practice exclusively on municipal law. In addition to his legal work, Jeremy is an accomplished public speaker, has presented at summits for Texas code enforcement authorities and officials on the topics of short-term rentals. He is also actively involved in the community through volunteer work and is a talented musician, having played the piano since childhood. Please join me in welcoming Jeremy to our team. Next, we have Marcy. She is our new planner, and she comes with over 30 years of municipal government and planning zoning experience. Has served in key leadership roles, including Development Services Director for the City of Kaufman, Planning Director for North Richland Hills and Midlothian, and Planner for the City of Grapevine. Since retiring from her full-time public service, Marcy has continued to support municipalities across North Texas as an on-call planner consultant. Throughout her career, Marcy has led major planning initiatives such as subdivision regulation updates, comprehensive planning efforts, annexations, and infrastructure impact fee programs. She is also recognized for developing an innovative community program like NEAT, the acronym for Neighborhood Enhancement Action Team program, which received multiple state awards. Marcy holds a master's degree in city and regional planning and is known for a collaborative approach, strong regulatory experience, and commitment to providing clear, effective guidance to elected officials and staff. Please welcome Marcy as a new planner.
Thank you. About a month ago, I made a decision to establish a Mayor's Outstanding Service Award in recognition of exceptional dedication we see within our team. This initiative was inspired by an employee who consistently demonstrates outstanding performance, going above and beyond expectations in both effort and impact. Their commitment highlights the standard of excellence we value, and this award serves as a way to formally acknowledge and thank Sherry Ford. Thank you. In recognition of exceptional dedication and service to the town, I'm proud to present the Mayor's Outstanding Service Award to you. During a particularly challenging 8-month period, when 2 coworkers were out of the office at different times, Sherry demonstrated remarkable professionalism and commitment by successfully performing the responsibilities of 3 critical roles. She stepped up without hesitation to ensure the continuity of operations and manage these additional responsibilities with efficiency, reliability, and a positive attitude while maintaining the high standards expected of our town. Her willingness to go above and beyond, often under demanding circumstances, reflects a deep commitment to public service and to the residents of our community. Sherry's efforts did not go unnoticed as she played a vital role in keeping town operations running smoothly during a difficult time. Sherry's dedication, resilience, and excellence exemplify the very best of our organization, and it is with great appreciation that we recognize her with this well-deserved honor. You will see. Thank you.
Hey, smile now, Sherry. It's a first award from the mayor. Come on. It's historical.
Historical. It is.
Historical.
Public participation. If you'd like to speak to the council, please fill out the form and hand it to Shannon. Please indicate on the form if you wish to speak during the discussion of a specific agenda item. Remember, council members are not allowed to answer questions during public participation. Please remind speakers to give their name and address. Please give your name and address for the record. Thank you. Shannon?
Laura Pittman.
Hi, my name is Laura Pittman. I live at 1237 Post Oak Court in Bartonville. I'm here to respectfully oppose extending sewer service to any properties. It is not about one business, it's about maintaining the policies that have defined Bartonville. The current owner purchased the property knowing it's operated on septic. That condition was part of the investment decision and should not now be shifted to the town to resolve. More importantly, opposing this request sets a precedent. Even if it intended as a one-time exception, it becomes a reference point for future requests. Over time, that weakens the town's ability to consistently enforce its infrastructure. Bartonville has chosen to remain rural, and limited sewer access is one of the most effective ways to preserve its character. Once exceptions begin, it is increasingly difficult to draw the lines. I ask the city council to uphold this policy. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kathy Dawn.
Kathy Dawn, 1590 Post Oak Lane, Bartonville, Texas. Yeah, every time this comes up, I come up here and I speak, so I know everybody knows where I stand. But there are a few different things this time that I'd like to address, and I do know that there's a petition going around. And I do believe that there will probably be a lot of non-Bartonville citizens on it, so I hope that you do disqualify all of those people that signed the petition that do not really deserve a voice to speak on this matter. So I'd also like to address some of these facts that he has brought out on that I think have just come out in the last week. You know, the first couple ones about the town's land use plan, yeah, I'm not gonna deny that, you know, it may not change the town use plan at this point in time, but the town use plan doesn't really address sewer or septic. I mean, that's about how the land is used in the town. It's got nothing to do with septic or what. And you can't tell me that if you were to give them sewer over there, that would not change the town use plan in the future. I do believe that honestly. Okay, I also don't believe that they're being treated unfairly. If you look at the map and you see any rural business zoned areas, they're all on septic. They are not on, none of them have sewer, so they are all treated fairly. You know, you can't compare them to the village center up there where Marty B's is and that big town center up there, because that was designed specifically for sewer and for commercial properties that wanted sewer. You can't compare it to Kroger's because that's really was a Lantana development, not really a Bartonville development. So, you know, that those two just can't really be compared. Yeah, another thing I'd like to address is that they say that the some of the properties in Old Town Bartonville were purchased after the developer and the town represented that sewer service was coming soon and would be available to them. I'd like to see that in writing because I don't believe that's a fact either. Okay, I know that if a developer tells me, if I'm gonna buy a piece of property and the developer tells me something, I know he's a salesman and he's only telling me what I wanna hear. He's not really telling me the facts, and he probably has no consideration, no anything to even be making a promise that he can't keep. And everybody should know that he can't keep a promise like that. You know, he's not on the council. Only the council can do this, and there's only 5 people on the council that really matter when it comes to this. Okay, in 2017 and 2022, you know, these items were brought before council and they were voted down. You know, the council hasn't changed, the citizens haven't changed, so I don't even really see why this keeps on coming before. So I do urge you tonight to put it on the agenda, because it's been there twice, it's been addressed twice, and the citizens, I do believe, have spoken. And I think that that's what really matters, the citizens have spoken.
I'm already hearing.
Peggy Parks. Peggy Parks.
Hi, I'm Peggy Parks. I live at 1480 Post Oak Lane, just up the street. I'm here to say, no sewers. We've been going through this since 22, since since 17. And we want to keep Bartonville country. And I really feel like once we get sewers in, it's just gonna keep it's just gonna keep working its way in. More people coming in and they've got their deal, and then pretty soon we're gonna start having lots of houses, apartments. We want to keep it country. So I ready to no sewers. Thank you.
Rock.
Hello, my name's Bert Rupp. I live at 161 Meadow Knoll Road in Double Oak, so I am one of those non-Bartonville citizens out there. I'm here to support Tim House and the Bartonville store for being able to connect a sewer. I don't see how possibly we're talking about residential and we're talking about business, okay? Keeping Bartonville country residential, understand, but when it comes to business where there is an overload on that septic system, we have to think about how caustic that material can be. And, it almost comes up to maybe a county issue, okay, instead of a city issue, or even a state issue, because we're talking about caustic material. Septic. Thank you.
I apologize, Marilyn. It's Yankee, sorry.
Carol Yankee, 74 McMagan, Bartonville, Texas. And I am a Double Oak resident, but my husband and I own the building at 74 McMagan. I've heard that, we were told that we were gonna be on septic and there was not gonna be sewer. Oh, that developer told me that the sewer was coming. And he gave me a timeline that I think I remember 6 months to a year. That's, around 6 months down the road, I was getting a little curious and I called the mayor. And I asked him if sewer was coming and when it was, because I didn't want to pour a lot of cement and have to tunnel under it. And he said, oh, go ahead, because it might be a couple of years. But he did not tell me it's not coming. So that's what I was told.
Ralph Adams.
Hello, my name is Ralph Adams. I live at 250 Court in Bartonville. And I'm here to just express that I do oppose the sewer linkage over here. The original, the property had been purchased with the understanding that it was septic. And I do think that bringing in more sewer to the location will just sort of bring more sewer around. And I think there'll be more requests for exceptions. And I think Bartonville's already too small. I do worry also about cost shifting to residents to support some of those commercial type installations. So thank you.
Thank you.
Christine Adams.
Hello, my name is Christine Adams. I live at 250 Court in Bartonville, Texas, and I oppose sewer being put in added to Bartonville. We want to keep Bartonville residential. We don't need more sewer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tim House.
Okay, my name is Tim House. Bartonville store is what I own. I live across the street, across McMakin in Dublin. The store's address 96 McMakin in Bartonville. I'm not here to ask to be on next month's agenda. I've done that 3 times. And you've made it pretty clear you don't want to hear my story on a regular agenda where there's public speaking. So I'll try to squeeze in as much as I can in ready 2.5 minutes. The quick retracing the history. I came to you in 2022 requesting sewer. It was denied. After executive session, it was denied. The only reason given was that the citizens who had spoke against it. And I understand, I appreciate your willingness to listen to the citizens. What I've tried to do tonight is show you that there is a segment of our citizenship who supports us, who speaks for us. And they're here tonight some of them, not all of them, obviously. So it's, I'm not even gonna say who's got the greater segment, it doesn't really matter. You have to make the decision based on the true facts, I believe. In 2022, I came, you declined it. This first 3 months of this year, I've come requesting to be on the agenda, because I think if we could have an open discussion of the issues, it could be so much more easily resolved. And I was denied in January, I was denied in February, I was denied in March. This is not a complicated issue, it really is not. Bartonville is very special. Everyone here wants to keep Bartonville country. But it's not unique. These types of issues, and your new planner knows this, are addressed all over the country all the time by mid-sized towns, either wanting to encourage development or restrict development. So we're not doing brain surgery here. A simple conversation about the facts, the true facts, and the concerns can settle this issue quickly. Okay, 50 seconds. I think the potential and impact of this issue has been greatly misunderstood and, with all due respect, been misrepresented. It's only to serve, this is an existing sewer line meant to serve existing businesses. It's not going to spawn additional businesses. It's certainly not going to spawn residential development. Lantana is very clear. I passed around a letter from the general manager. They have no interest or inclination or capacity to serve Bartonville residential. The only reason they'll serve some commercial is because it's off peak. And off peak, they've got some room for it. But it's, again, only for the existing businesses there. I think if we could sit down, talk about this, we could work it out quickly and avoid all the controversy that exists in this town. So, thank you.
George Dunham.
George Dunham, Badminton Heights, here in Bartonville. I learned a lot the last 3 months. I was one of those who spoke on these businesses' behalf a few months ago, and it's just, it's unfortunate. Facts have been presented, and when we present facts, the only argument I've heard against this is keep Bartonville country. I'd gladly sign a petition to do just that. We're on the same side there. We're not opposed to that at all. I've lived here for almost 20 years. I want the same thing. This is so unrelated. And if you talk about precedent, Marty B's, 7-Eleven, Kroger, it does count. It's Bartonville. It's right across the street. Yep. I didn't see a big land rush when those businesses went in. I didn't see a developer crunch that came here trying to put in sewer. And it's not accurate to say I'm against you putting in sewer. The sewer is in, the line is in. It's been there for years. It's 15 feet away from the front of the Bartonville store. This is just logic. And for these businesses not to get on the agenda, almost because there's no interest in it. There are more than 80 signatures for this idea. And it's just an idea for discussion. It's not trying to change the face of Bartonville. The line is in. It's a very logical thing to do. And when it has been presented in the court of public opinion outside of Bartonville, everyone's mystified. What's the problem? Why is this a problem? He's not putting up a skyscraper. He's not asking for a zone change. He's asking to hook these businesses up to a line that's already there that can't be hooked up to by a residential development. It's unrelated. Keep Bartonville country and a sewer to treat these businesses equally. They're not related. They're mutually exclusive. It would be like you move into Bartonville, and I would say, you know what, you don't have two trash cans, you can only have one. But everyone else has two, yeah, I know, but you can only have one. Well, you were told when you moved in, you can only have one. So you're gonna have one for the rest of the time you're in Bartonville. That's what you're asking these businesses to do. And it's no expense to them, it's no expense to you. The line is in. And unfortunately, we've taken the path of, won't hear it. I'm opposed to it. I'm against it. Well, I'm for it.
Jennifer Rogers.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Rogers. I'm Tim's daughter. I also live in Double Oak. I also work at the store, spend a lot of time there. I turned in the petition signatures, and I just want to let everyone know that we only got the signatures from Thursday until Sunday. So this is a very small sampling of just a very short amount of time, but we had overwhelming positive support. We had 80 signatures from Bartonville residents. We had 486 signatures total. So in just 4 days, or 5 days. I'm really nervous. Anyway, I do want to just read this petition to you so that you can hear it. It's very reasonable. It's not angry. We're not trying to start a fight, so. It reads, to the Town Council of Bartonville, Texas. We, the undersigned residents, customers, and supporters of the Bartonville community respectfully urge the Town Council to allow sewer service to the commercially zoned businesses located on McMakin Road, including the historic Bartonville store. For generations, these businesses have served as an important part of our community. The Bartonville store alone has been a cornerstone of local life for over 140 years. Today, these businesses face an unnecessary and unfair barrier. Sewer infrastructure already exists at their property line. The town already authorizes sewer service to 80+ other commercial properties. These businesses are similarly situated to others who already receive sewer service. Without access to sewer service, these small businesses are limited, I can vouch for that, in their operations and suffer financial harm. I can vouch for that too, unfortunately. This is not a request for special treatment. It's a request for equal treatment. We respectfully ask the town council to allow these businesses to connect to the existing sewer system that was installed specifically to serve them. I just want to use my last 45 seconds to say, I started working alongside my dad a couple years ago after my mom died from a long battle with ALS. And he was removed for a while from being able to work as much as he did. And when he came back in, he really wanted to improve things. Maybe have small weddings, maybe have celebrations of life, things like that. And I said, well, you can't do that when the sewer smells like that. If you have a bride show up on the day of her wedding and you have that going on because it rained the day before, you can't do it. It won't succeed. So it's things like that, along with parking and all kind of other things that would really help us if we had sewer. So I appreciate listening. Thank you.
David Anderson.
David Anderson, 14 Country Court, Bartonville. I think my wife would agree, we would fight to the death to keep our little country place that we have down there. I was gonna write this nice little speech and practice it, and then I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna wing it. And so point number one is when I sit in the Bartonville store and look through the windows and see Kroger across the street, and in between Kroger and the building I'm sitting in, there's a sewer tap 22 feet away. And I'm looking at Kroger, which is a very large corporation, And we're telling my friends on McMakin that they can't tap onto something that is already there. It's not new sewer. And we all know that for all of us in Bartonville to get quote unquote sewer instead of the aerobic systems that we were all on, it would take who knows how many hundreds of millions of dollars to make that happen. There's got to be a sewage treatment facility to service that. It is just not a reasonable argument to say that by letting the businesses on McMakin hook up to something that's already there, we're gonna allow everybody else, because you guys control that. You don't, you can make that not happen. So my second point is they have they have a farmer's market show up on Sunday. What's more country than that? They have real country music several times a week. What's more country than that? In closing, let them hook up to something that's already there. Again, 410 Country Court, Bartonville.
Rachel McKinley.
My name is Rachel. I live at 1092 East Jeter. I bring my family to the Bartonville store. It's one of the few places in this community where neighbors actually run into each other. Because this council won't authorize sewer, that store has limits to its hours. Hours of my family and this whole community can be there. There's no good reason for that. The sewer line is at the property line. I asked this council to treat these businesses fairly and let this gathering place serve as our community the way it should. I don't think there's anything more country than supporting a small business. And the Bartonville store is as country as it gets. Thank you.
Jeff Meyer.
Pretty much everything. I'm Jeff Meyer, and I'm 1092 East Jeter, 709 East Woodland in Cotton Canyon. But I grew up in the country. I didn't grow up with a Brakes Plus across the street. I didn't grow up with a Whataburger. Didn't grow up with a Kroger. And what that store is represents everything we actually want. And I sit here and I say, what you're doing actually is inviting country to disappear. Because I can go open a Chili's right over in one of those vacant centers over there, and I can dwarf what Tim's doing at the Bartonville store. That place recycles the capital of this community. That goes home to Louisiana or wherever you want to go. And I would strongly encourage you not to just get brought up on the emotions of keeping things country. We're not riding wagons. That's all I have to say.
Brad Roblin.
Evening, my name is Brad Robler, and I am a Bartonville resident here in Trifecta Court off of McMakin. I'm here about the decision to deny Bartonville store access to the sewer line in front of this
Excuse me,
property.
sir, could you give your address, the full address?
Address.
2013 High Meadow Court.
Thank you.
That's Bartonville right down the street on McMakin. Trifecta.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm here about the decision to deny Bartonville store access to the sewer line in front of this property. The reason given is that the people of Bartonville don't want it. I am one of those residents, and that's not accurate. If the goal is to keep Bartonville rural, the decisions need to be consistent, approving large commercial projects like Whataburger while denying a long-standing local business access to existing infrastructure doesn't align with that. Doesn't make sense. This isn't about new development. It's about allowing existing business to connect to a line that's already there. I think we've established that. So I have two simple questions. What specific policy justifies denying this connection? And how is that policy applied consistently? I'd like to hear from that later, maybe. If this decision is truly based on what residents want, then I ask that you verify that with actual input. Thank you, as Bartonville residents.
Ryan and Paige Whitaker.
Good evening. My name is Ryan Whitaker, and my wife and I, for the last 10 years, have lived just a couple 100 yards south at 842 McMakin Road in Bartonville. Thriving local businesses are good for this entire community, improving property values and the quality of life. The business on that block should not be the only commercial properties in Bartonville that are denied sewer access. The rationale that this might lead to future development, it just doesn't hold up. These businesses exist now and simply need the same service everyone else already has. Bartonville store is a very special place, and it's all country through and through. And we just ask that you treat it very fairly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Did your wife want to speak or did you just?
I'm good. You can speak for both of us.
Okay, thank you. Diana Roller?
No, it's short. My name is Diana Rogler, 2013 High Meadow Court, Bartonville, Texas. I proudly support 3 of the 7 businesses that are being denied basic utilities. I moved my veterinarian here from Aubrey. I moved my dentist here from Denton. I regularly bring friends from Grapevine, Plano, Colleyville, Denton to come for dinner and concerts at the Bartonville store, who spend money and generate tax revenue right here in Bartonville. I love Bartonville's country character, and honestly, nothing says country to me quite like the smell of an overwhelmed septic system on a Friday night. That odor is not charm, it's the smell of success that our town's leadership has turned their back to. The busier the Bartonville store is, the more tax dollars they generate, and right now we're measuring that success in stench. The sewer line already exists. It was installed specifically to serve Old Town Bartonville. It does not have the capacity to extend into residential areas. Connecting these 7 businesses to it requires no zoning change, no new infrastructure, and opens no door to mass commercial development. That argument simply does not hold up to scrutiny. These 7 businesses serve our community. They support our tax base. They deserve the same basic utilities that other Bartonville businesses already enjoy. Allowing them to connect to an existing sewer line built for them is not a threat to our rural character. It is good governance. I urge this council to allow the public conversation to happen, hear the facts, and support the businesses that support all of us. Thank you for your time and for serving our community.
I'm having a hard time reading this. You think it's Michael Parker?
Yeah. Too much keyboard. My wife likes my handwriting, by the way. Good evening, my name is Michael Parker, and I thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. Like many of the people here, I'm a frequent customer in Bartonville store. Yes, sir.
We'll get an address, please.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm Michael Parker, and I live at 340 Thornhill Circle, 20 feet away from Bartonville, Texas. I'm in Del Ruck. Sorry about that. Like many of the people here, I'm a frequent customer of the Bartonville store. Over time, I've formed lasting friendships there. The music is always entertaining, the food is excellent. And the store has become something more than a business. It's become a gathering place, a de facto community center for Bartonville. There is an ongoing concern that's limiting its ability to operate and grow. Store does not have access to a sewer line and must rely on a septic system that just cannot adequately support the level of restroom use during business hours.
It creates a real operational constraint. My understanding is requests from sewer access have been made over a number of years without resolution. And there's been limited dialogue between the town and Mr. House about a path forward. Meanwhile, other restaurants in Bartonville do have sewer access, which places the store at a competitive disadvantage. The issue's not going away. The Bartonville store matters to this community. A practical solution exists. A situation could be resolved with the approval of the sewer access, and I respectfully ask you to take steps towards making that happen. Enough is enough, and thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
Brady Jones.
Hey y'all, my name is Brady Jones. I live actually over in Highland Village, but I'm a frequent customer of the Bartonville store. I've got a little thing that I was gonna read, but I just want to back on something that Mr. Parker said a second ago. Who I've gotten to know really well over the time that I've gotten to come over to the Bartonville store and get to know everyone that goes over there. It's a community center. It's a place where no matter who you are or where you're from, you walk in there and you feel like you're stepping back in time. I've spent a lot of time out in East Texas going to places out there, and it's like having something like that right in your backyard. Being 10 minutes down the road, there's nothing I love more than coming over, listening to live music and getting to hang out with the people that make Bartonville so special. And that's the truth. It is more country than anyone can ever fathom. And I ask that you guys really take that into consideration. Appreciate y'all's time.
Sophia Barra.
Pereira, I think. Hi, everyone. Oh, there's this. Thank you. My name is Sophia Barrera. I live at 501 East College Street in Louisville, Texas. And no, I am not a Bartonville resident, but I would like to start off by just saying, I actually helped open this store in 2019. I worked there until 2023, and I've been a patron ever since. I probably spent enough hours there that I could be a Bartonville resident. But the Bartonville store has never asked to change the identity of this town. It has actually worked to preserve it. It has created a place where neighbors become community, where history is not just remembered, but actually lived out, and where people come together in ways that truly matter. Over the years, it has hosted life's most meaningful moments, celebrations, losses, and milestones. It has done so with a genuine commitment to people who call Bartonville home. Generations have walked through its doors, shared stories, and built connections that extend far beyond a single visit. That kind of place is not easy to build, and it's even harder to sustain. And when we think about what makes a community strong, it's not just infrastructure or development plans. It's the places that give people a sense of belonging. It's the places where you run into a neighbor, where conversations happen naturally, and where the character of a town is quietly reinforced day after day. Granting access to sewer is not about encouraging uncontrolled growth. It is about supporting a business that has already proven its value, its responsibility, and its dedication to this community. It is about providing the basic infrastructure needed to continue operating safely and sustainably. It is about ensuring that something we already know is good for this town has its ability to continue. We have an opportunity here to be thoughtful about the growth that is bound to happen in surrounding areas, not just Bartonville, but there's a wedding venue down the street. Who knows how much else, how the village is going to grow. To say that progress doesn't have to come at the expense of identity, that we can support development while also preserving the places that make Bartonville feel like Bartonville. I believe that we should choose to support the places that reflect who we are at the core. The Bartonville store does exactly that. It represents connection and care for this community. Supporting the Bartonville store is not just a decision about one business, it's a statement about what we all value. It's a decision to invest in a community, in history, and shared experiences that have all brought us together. I urge you to give this store the opportunity to continue serving the community for years to come, but not just for today, but for the future of Bartonville and all the people who call it home. Thank you.
Brian Smiley.
Thank you. I'm also an outsider. I live in Flower Mound. Brian Smiley, 1540 Rustic Timbers Lane, Flower Mound, Texas, 75028. I can't add any more than what's already been said tonight countless times, and I'm sure it'll be said even more times before we're done here tonight. But, you know, from my personal perspective, I found the store a couple years ago. And not growing up down here, grew up in the Northeast, moved to Texas to like the way that the area was, I like things down here. You know, I've been to Billy Bob's, I've been to Stockyards, I've been to all, you know, Neon Moon out in Yanis, Texas. I've been to a lot of the places that have been around forever, and I feel like I'm stepping back in time to a place I never was. When I go in there, it's a great place. Everybody knows everybody. I've made friends there. I love the music, enjoy the music. The food is to die for. You know, it's a great place to go, and you know, I like it better than Marty B's. A great place, but it's not what I consider rural Texas country, Bartonville, if you will. You know, I have pretty friends and family there. It's kind of like what this looked like 100 years ago, 200 years ago. It's pretty close to that. You know, all I say is I've heard some negatives against it. I've heard a lot of positives for it. You know, I don't see why it wouldn't become a future agenda item. We've got a brand new town attorney, got a brand new town planner. Let's let them stretch the legs a little bit. Maybe we can work together and figure out a compromise so that there's no potential for residential growth connected to sewer, but the businesses that it passes right in front of can be connected to it. So, and I know you can't make a decision. I've been on planning and zoning. I know you can't speak about any of this stuff tonight, but you know, I think it's the support that I've seen tonight and the signatures from those local and not local. I think it warrants at least another consideration to get on a future agenda item to discuss it and really kind of stretch out and work it through with your new staff and your existing staff. Thank you.
Jessica Bennett. Jessica Bennett. Eddie Hack.
My name is Eddie Hack. I'm an outsider from 3529 Clydesdale in Denton. I live in Denton, but this is a great place. You talk about country. We want to keep the country. This reminds me of the place I used to go to with my grandparents when I was a kid back in Tennessee. They'd always go to the country store, sit around, meet people, talk to people. That's what this place is here, what it means to me. I've got a lot of friends now that live in Bartonville that I never knew before, and that's because of this place right here. It's, like I said, it brings back memories when I was a kid, living in the country in Tennessee. And that's something that I thought I'd lost until I found the store here. There's an existing line, so I don't see the problem. It's not, I'm in construction, I know the prices of things. We're not talking about money to the city or anything like that. It's just adding on to a city line or a sewer line that's already there. I see no problem at all. And just hope y'all can consider that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Lauren Estrada.
Hi, my name is Lauren Estrada. I live at 1317 Evergreen Drive in Louisville, Texas. We love the Bartonville store. It has become a gathering place for this community in a way that honors and celebrates its 140+ year history. I want it to still be there for the next generation. But because this council won't authorize a sewer connection that every other commercial business in Bartonville has, the store has limits to its hours. Please don't let that stand. Treat this business fairly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lauren Melick.
Just a couple of Laurens. Hi, my name is Lauren Melick and I reside at 2013 High Meadow Court, Bartonville, Texas. I'll be brief. Small businesses, one block, 140 years of community history. The sewer line is at the property line. The contract exists. Every other commercial property in Bartonville is connected. There's no good reason for the exclusion, and this community knows it. That is why we're all here tonight. We're asking this council to do the right thing. Treat these businesses equally and let McMakin Road thrive. Thank you.
Brandon Shelby.
Good evening, mayors, members of the council. My name is Brandon Shelby. I'm attorney, Shelby Law, PLLC in Sherman, Texas. My address is 1800 T, Sherman, Texas. And I represent the owners of the Bartonville store and the other commercially zoned businesses on McMakin Road. Nearly 500 people signed a petition asking this council to treat these businesses fairly. Those signers are not outside agitators. They are residents of Bartonville, customers of these businesses, and taxpayers whose dollars fund this very government. Many of them are registered voters of this town. I will let the council draw its own conclusions about what 500 signatures in 5 days means in a town this size. But I will note the elections in Bartonville have been decided by far fewer votes. This community's voice is not the only one that has been heard. I'm sure you know the Dallas Morning News ran a story on Sunday about what's happening to these businesses. Front page, above the fold, the largest headline font they had. People outside this community, people with no stake in Bartonville politics, read the story and were outraged. Confused that in this day and age, a town could look at these businesses, including a 140-year-old community institution, and say, everyone else gets service, but not you. When the largest newspaper in North Texas was that on its front page, it's worth asking what story this council wants to be remembered for, and what a jury pool in this region would think. Every commercially zoned property in Bartonville receives sewer service through the city's agreements with Opportunity and Lantana. Everyone, except the commercially zoned businesses on McMakin Road. The Bartonville store has served this community for over 140 years. The town itself honored it with a historical marker. A previous administration ran the sewer line to the property line. And we have confirmed with the developer that the line was specifically installed to serve these businesses. The infrastructure's there, the contract's there. These business owners invested here in good faith based on that infrastructure. And then the council changed, and this council decided this service stops there. My clients have been patient, they've been reasonable, they've sought to resolve this without litigation, but I want to be direct with the council. We've drafted a lawsuit, is ready to file, and we're prepared to do so. I sincerely hope that level heads and basic fairness prevail. Our lawsuit raises serious federal claims within due process and federal takings, but its core is equal protection. What it means the government cannot intentionally treat identically situated people differently without a rational basis. My clients are commercially zoned property owners, identical in every legally relevant respect to every other commercial property in the city that enjoys sewer service. This council has offered 3 shifting rationales for the exclusion, each weaker than the last, and together they are mutually inconsistent. We've seen that before, and courts know what it means. But none of this is what my clients really want. What they want is simple. They're not asking for special treatment, they're asking to be treated equally under the law, the same access to the same service, the same contract every other commercial property owner enjoys. The infrastructure is at their line, nothing more is required except to do what is right. We know what the law requires, we believe you do so too. Level heads and fairness can resolve this.
Kenneth Simmons Jr.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to talk to you. I go by Bill Simmons. I'm a resident of Flower Mound, Texas, 4101 Southernwood Court. I started coming to see Tim and his Bartonville store about 2 years ago. Recently retired CEO. I enjoyed visiting with people, and I met Tim and John and talked to them, and they believe that musicians and people that like to play music deserve a venue. And that's what they provided. And all I really ask of you is to be fair. But I heard today, and I wasn't really sure I heard it right, is He just wants to get on the agenda for you guys and talk to you and present his case. And isn't that what city councils are for, is to listen to their residents and local businesses? Not say we don't have time or we don't believe in your cause. That's why y'all are here. He just wants to talk to you. And that's what I keep hearing. And why would you not want to do that? Thank you for the opportunity.
Braden Malik.
My name is Braden Mellick. I live at 2013 High Meadow Court. Council members, from a straightforward business and legal standpoint, there is no rational basis to deny sewer service to these commercially zoned businesses when every other comparable commercial property in Bartonville already receives the service. The infrastructure is at the property line. The system can support the connection. The city is already allowing this service, and the only variable is the council's decision. I ask this council to treat these businesses fairly and equally.
Thank you.
Michelle Boyle.
Good evening, Michelle Boyle, 1501 Landfall Circle, Bartonville. I live in close proximity to the Bartonville store. I oppose their hookup to sewage on the grounds of community well-being. Prior to their recent articles, to which community members have not been invited to contribute or respond, they self-described on social media not as a community center, but as DFW's premier music venue, and have also expressed publicly their intent to extend their days and hours already open till midnight of opening pending this infrastructure issue. I want to briefly share the lived experience from those of us directly adjacent to the store. What was initially understood to be a restaurant with occasional entertainment has, in practice, shifted into something much more frequent and impactful. Live music is now occurring multiple nights a week, often continuing until midnight. There has also been discussion of extending operations later, potentially as late as 2 a.m. if future infrastructure changes are approved. It appears the business is increasingly operating and presenting itself as a dedicated music venue, which represents a shift in use and intensity beyond what many residents originally understood or expected. While this may fall within the technical language of the existing permit, the real-world effect is different. When doors are open during performances, sound carries clearly into surrounding homes. At that point, the distinction between indoor and outdoor music becomes functionally meaningless for those of us living nearby. This is not an isolated occurrence, it is a repeated pattern. We have been encouraged to contact law enforcement when issues arise, and we have done so. However, in practice, this has not been an effective solution. By the time officers arrive, the immediate issue has often subsided. And because this is a recurring situation rather than a single event, it places an ongoing burden on residents to monitor and report during late night hours, disrupting normal sleep and quiet enjoyment of our homes. I want to be clear, this is not about opposing local business or success. It is about maintaining a reasonable balance between commercial activity and residential quality of life. What is currently occurring reflects a level of frequency, volume, and intensity that goes beyond what many residents reasonably expected in this setting, particularly given the proximity to homes and a preschool. I respectfully ask that the town consider not only what is permitted on paper, but how those permissions are being experienced in practice, and whether the current interpretation and enforcement of the CUP appropriately reflect that reality. Thank you for your time and consideration. I need to leave now due to a prior commitment, but I will be following up and I care very much. Thank you for your time.
Harry Stern.
My name is Barry Cerna. I live at 595 Highgate Court. It's in Lake Dallas. I'm an employee at 96 McMakin Road. I've worked there for about 7 years now. I like Bartonville a whole lot. People here are pretty fantastic. I like the points that that lady there was making. I don't know about extending the hours, that hasn't been talked about. But her concerns, I think, could be addressed if you guys would be willing to talk about the issue, but continuing to put it aside doesn't allow a solution to the problems she's having, nor the ones we're having. I came up to speak because the point was made that we didn't want to allow non-Bartonville residents to really have a voice, either in a petition or maybe even in this forum. You might consider that that's silly, considering the amount of tax dollars from non-Bartonville residents that flow through our business, as I specifically know, because I do them, and it's considerable. I think that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Joe speak.
That was quick. Hi, everyone. I am a Bartonville resident, 226 Porter Road, right down the street here. Got the Longhorns, anyone wants to stop by and say hi. The point that I've heard a couple of things so far. I do want to address specifically the point of the hours that were talked about. It's two different things. Being open to a certain hour and the septic have no relation to each other. There's a reason why a bar in the state can't be open past 2 AM. I think we can agree with that. There's a law stating that they can't. So we can make a law that says that a local ordinance that says that they can't stay past a certain hour, even if septic is changed to sewer. So two completely different issues that I think we can make a rule for. So what I stand here as a resident hearing the talk on social media that concerns me is, it seems like an obvious thing that we can make work. I'm all for keeping this town country. That is where I live. I want it to stay looking like that. No offense to any Argyle resident, but I've seen what's changed in that town, and I don't want to be that here. But that doesn't have to come with limiting an existing owner who's a local person, not a big corporation, from being able to access existing sewer and then changing the rule after that to say no one else. We can do that if we want to. We can do just that. We can make the rules. So I'll end with, when somebody asks me, where are you from in Texas, as I drive all over this North DFW area, or North Texas area, I say Bartonville, and they say, huh? And I say, have you heard of the Bartonville store? Or Marty B's? And they say, oh yeah, that's where I'm from. It's a cornerstone, folks.
That is all that I have on this topic.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Closed session pursuant to the Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code Chapter 551, the town council will recess and close executive session in accordance with the following. Number one, section 551.071, consultation with town attorney, seek legal advice regarding agenda items I2, I3, and I4. Time being 7:30, we're now convened into closed session. Just being, thank you.
I hear you.
Time being 8:09, 8:10, actually, we reconvened at open session. The town council reconvened as open session to consider action in any items or discussed in closed session. Action will be taken on, when we discuss the items on the agenda. Appointed representative liaison report, Denton County Emergency Services Chief on.
Evening, Mayor and Council, thank you for having me. I feel like I need to tell you my address where I live. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me. Obviously, I sent you the monthly report, but obviously, I also sent you our annual report. Talk about that briefly, but for March, it actually wasn't, I usually get up and tell you it's the busiest March we've ever had. We weren't this time. We were a little bit slower, still busy. I do want to talk real quickly on, we've been working for quite some time with all law enforcement agencies in all towns, trying to do a lot of education on e-bikes and e-scooters. It is a problem. Since my last meeting, we had another tragic accident, young child on an e-scooter here locally. And so it's not the first one. It won't be the last one. It's a problem. We've seen it ever since the holidays. These parents are buying these e-scooters and e-bikes as toys, as a gift to their children. And you got young kids who are not. These are basically motorcycles. These are electronic motorcycles, in some cases go up to 20 or 30 miles an hour. And so we're seeing a pattern. I hate to see it, and every time it happens, this is the last one we have, but it is a problem. But I would just ask, as a town, police department, y'all putting, I know y'all putting out messaging, if we can do things to kind of raise awareness, because it's really one of those situations where the technology, there's no legislation, there's no regulatory stuff in place for technology. It's like new technology. So you got these basically e-bikes and e-scooters that are running pretty quickly. So anyway, just that kind of putting out messaging and stuff like that. It is a problem, especially when you deal with young children. So so I just want to talk about that and kind of make that on public record, but also our annual report. We got that done. I'm very proud of that. It's an enhancement. This is our second one. Our first one was last year, so it's the second time we've done an annual report. The thing I'm really proud of is, since I've been here 3 years now, and I had a hard time getting our demographics. Been working with Denton County GIS, and say, well, I can get the how many population Bartonville has, I get how many population Argyle and Copper Canyon have, and I can't figure out what mine. So in the report, it does have a good demographics of what we are. Household, rooftops, income, all that stuff. So it's kind of good for helping us making decisions, based on data, based on our community. We do have a population at the end of 2025 of 51,000. For those who know, we cover about 65 square miles, including Argyle, Copper Canyon, Bartonville, North Lake, and even Corral City. So we cover a large area. So we're growing, and we're with that, we are in the process of soon to be opening our fourth station in North Lake. We cover all the way down on the east side of Texas North Speedway. That's actually North Lake, and so we're building a station that it's a modular building. It's very industrial looking. It's just like the 4-story hotel across the street. Very modern industrial look, and it's modular. It's being put together. It'll only take about 4 weeks to put together, and it'll need 4 more weeks to do all the landscaping and stuff around it. So we're looking at probably mid-June, and this will be operational next station. So excited about that. Other activities, I'll keep this brief. We got kind of a lot of activities going on. On April 24th, here soon this week, we'll be participating in what law enforcement usually participate in, and it's the National Drug Take Back. So in all of our fire station lobbies, we have these envelopes that are sealable. They're anonymous. If you've got a loved one, we get a lot of phone calls from people who say, hey, my mother passed away, or my father passed away, and I've got all these old medications. What do I do with them? I don't want to throw them down the toilet or sink. It's environmentally unsafe. Well, we have ways to get rid of that. So we're part of that. It's a national event, and so we're participating. So we encourage the citizens of Bartonville to kind of take that opportunity to come by the station. We pick up envelope, pick up 2 envelopes, pick up many as you want. We're on a grant program to get them for free. And so it's just a great way to kind of keep them, because sometimes kids get into that stuff. And when you keep them, I got them underneath my sink, and the grandkids come over, and guess what? They've overdosed on some grandma guns. So just one of the ways we try to look out for our community, and something we're trying to kind of educate our public about. A couple other things, I'll keep this short. On May 16th, from 8 until noon, we've got our signature event. So for those who don't know, each year we do a our grant, we call it an open house, and since we open our doors, let the citizens come in and participate. We pull all our apparatus out, we open up the bay, we've got vendors inside there with booths and stuff, and we do a memorial walk in honor of Memorial Day. This is different this year, we usually, are the carry the load, event, so if you don't know what carry the load, it's an annual event in honor of Memorial Day. They started at Riverstone Park in Dallas. They have been doing satellite events, and we were one of those. We were sponsored part of the carry load event. They decided that they're only gonna do the Riverstone Park, so we're not named with them, but we are gonna do the Memorial Walk. We're doing it differently. We're starting at Station 511, right there at Gibbons Road and Rural 7. We will go down to Marty B, which is the halfway. It's very hospitable and allows us to hang out at his place and take a break before we head back up the hill. But we'll be doing that on May 16th, and we invite everyone to come, free hamburgers, hot dogs, we cook for you, and it's a great event. It's just kind of one of our things we love to do. Couple of things, keep it short. On May 23rd, we have our second blood drive. We do 2 blood drives a year, one on our Memorial Day, and then we do one in honor of September 11th. So we'll do one again there, but we got that one. That'll be all day at Station 511 too. And that's all I have. I'll take any questions. I know it's a lot, but.
Thank you
very much.
Appreciate it.
Police Department, March 2026, chief background.
Thank you, Mayor, Council. It's a quiet, well, not quiet enough, but it's quiet little town. I figured that out. But we had 110 calls of service for the month of March. And we had 8 agency assists, 22 commercial alarms, and 2 residential alarms. We had 5 domestic disturbances, no arrest or anything like that out of those. We had 3 reckless drivers. We had 11 road blockage. That's due to some accidents and also vehicles breaking down and running out of gas, stuff like that in the roadway. We had 10 suspicious person, vehicle activity, and we had 4 accidents, which is good compared to, last month and the month before that. We had part 1 crime, that's gonna be motor vehicle theft, and actually it's titled under that. There was actually a trailer and a mower that was stolen from out here, Tractor Supply, about 3 in the morning, so what we had there. As far as officer activity, we had 168 building checks and close patrols, traffic complaints, radar enforcement was 70. Traffic stops, we had 285 traffic stops for the month. And walk through business contacts, 15 for a total of 538. Like I say, part 1 crime I mentioned earlier was from Tractor Supply. And we had a drop in crashes. I think I could attribute some of that to officers being seen, patrolling the streets and being seen out there. And they know coming through. Yeah, they could be stuck anywhere. You can see anywhere. But that's all I have.
Any questions?
No, you've been, thanks, Chief. Appreciate it.
Administration?
Yes, if you'll go to page 22 on our financials, I will start with revenue, reserve revenue on the. Oh, y'all there, because I want to make sure you're following. I know sometimes it gets low. Oh, she's right there. She's pulling up. Anyway, if you look at our interest for March, we had $2,434. Year to date, $14,816, which is approximately $192 more than last year at this time. Based on the average interest of $2,514 for the last 4 months, we should surpass our $19,000 budgeted for interest on this line item. On the general fund revenue, property tax, we were for March, we had 23,661, bringing us over budget in the amount of $113,148. Sales tax was $85,593, and that was an increase of $52,675 compared to the same time last year. Revenue collected in March Total was $197,222, representing an increase of $125,552 compared to this year. Any questions? Our sales tax, total, a 12-month rolling average, reflects January 2026 of $85,593. That brings the total monthly average to $85,430 collected. Going on to our general fund expenditures. Total expenditures for March was $173,116. At the end of the 6-month halfway point, we want to be at 50% remaining, and we're currently approximately at 54.41%. So we're above our 50, which includes the inclement weather and the septic system that we had to have replaced for town hall. Year-to-date expenditures show an increase of 81,000 over this time last year, but that's due to the septic system, inclement weather, salaries, things of that nature. That's why we do have that. We're still in, good. We're still above our 50%.
You're talking about the icing for the inclement
Yes.
weather that we.
Yeah, as you'll know, that was 2 weeks of ice.
Yeah.
We budgeted 8,000. It cost us 23,000 because we had to have them keep coming out. So it was that was unusual. Yeah, that was just something that happened. As we know, you live in Texas, the weather's gonna do silly things.
We'll say this, and I'm not sure if we've heard from many citizens, but they appreciate that effort that was made at that time, because I heard from several of them that they appreciate that.
Yeah.
And one that ended up off the this down there, that 2 Mountain residents driving by, not to get off subject though, they took 2 pickup trucks and drove them out. My wife was in that vehicle.
And then you go to administration quarter expenditures of $100,684 for March, leaving an overall remaining budget of 57, almost 58%, which is above the expected 50% benchmark. The total cost for the septic was $23,187. The police department, department's looking for the police department reported expenditures of $66,290 in March, leaving an overall remaining budget of 46, almost 47%, which is slightly under 50%. However, as we explained several councils, that's due to us having to pay the radio contract and things of that nature, communications, because we pay those at the beginning of the fiscal budget. So that's why those are actual payments. Yes, yes. Yeah. And that's all I have. If I any questions on the report.
Looks like I'm tracking.
Perfect.
That's good.
Good shape. Thank you.
Closer, thank you.
Thanks, Chief.
Consent agenda. This agenda consists of non-controversial, has to be items required by law, and items may be approved with a single motion. Items may be reviewed on the consent agenda by any council member by making such a request. Prior to the motion and the vote on the consent agenda, number 1, consider approval of the March 17, 2026 regular meeting minutes. Number 2, consider approval of the town administrator contract. Number 3, ratify engagement letter with Brown Hoffman Group LLP for town attorney services. Number 4, consider an ordinance repealing Appendix A fee schedule of the town of Bartonville Code of Ordinances and adopting a new Appendix A fee schedule and providing an effective date of May 2026. And number 5 has been pulled from tonight's agenda and will be brought back in May at the May 12th meeting, town meetings. Do I have a motion on the consent agenda?
I move we approve the consent agenda with the exception of item 5, which we reviewed later.
So, all those in favor? Motion carries 4-0. Thank you, council. Public hearings and regular items. Councilmember Crandall, do you want?
I need to recuse myself as item 1.
Thank you. Thank you. Discuss, number 1, discuss and consider final plat for High Plains at First Ranch, Phase 2, encompassing approximately 76.052 acres. Property situated in the Pensacola Survey Abstract number 1339 in the extraterritorial jurisdiction of the town of Bartonville, Denton County, Texas. The property is located generally east of State Highway 377 between Keith Road and Smoot Lane. The applicant is GM Civil, on behalf of owner Royal Capital V1 LLC, case number FP 2026-001. Planning and zoning recommended approval by a vote of 5-0 at its April 1st, 2026 meeting. Staff presentation. Margie?
Yes, ma'am. Before you, we have a final plat for the phase 2 of the High Plains at First Ranch. The picture before you is basically all the portions of phase 2. It contains 776 acres. There's gonna be 242 residential lots and 6 non-residential lots. Preliminary plat was approved by council on September 15th, 2025. This platted area is in the ETJ. There is no zoning in this area. The Planning and Zoning Commission did recommend approval with the condition that the finished floor elevation shall be provided on the final, on the final plat.
So this falls in line with the other plats that they've done for the beginning of the development over there.
Yes, ma'am. This plat matches the preliminary plat. It's just a final plat. So it does meet all the regulations.
We must use that too.
Yes. Any questions?
So there was an exception?
Yeah, there was a condition,
Condition.
yes, that the finished floor elevations are provided on the final plat. Those will be just notations that be quite proud of.
Any questions from Marcy? No? Thank you, appreciate it, Marcy. Well, is the applicant here?
Yeah, good evening, Mayor, Council, Jason Weaver, GM Civil, 2559 Southwest Grapevine Parkway in Grapevine. Just the next phase that Starwood is doing out there, again, just as staff said, just, you know, complying with the preliminary plat that's been approved. It's just the next phase that we're finalizing. Obviously, we help it out there, be driven by, use the anticipation, you know, about to complete their work, and utilities are starting to go in, so. You know, maybe come this summer, you know, this section's getting paved or so, it's, you know. Development continuing, so I'm just here to answer any questions if.
Any questions? No. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Any more discussion? No, you have a motion.
5 points.
I move to approve final plat for High Plains at First Ranch Phase 2, encompassing approximately 76.052 acres. Property situated in the Princeton Wild Survey. Abstract number 1339 in the ETJ of the town of Bartonville, Denton County, Texas. Property is located generally east of Highway 377 between Keith Road and Smoot Lane. The applicant is approve this with the condition as outlined by P and Z.
All those in favor? Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Council. Okay. Would you tell me? Okay, thank you.
You gotta do that.
Yes, sir, recuse themselves.
Oh, I got it too.
Councilmember Sams is gonna refuse today.
Okay, since time out.
Number 2, hold a public hearing discussing consider request to rezone two tracts of land containing approximately 7 acres from ag to residential RA5, legally described as tract 1 and tract 4 of the Virginia Morrison subdivision out of the A&M Deltas Survey, abstract number 1594, town of Bartonville, Denton County, Texas, and addressed as 590 and 630 East Jeter Road, Bartonville, Texas, 76226. The properties are generally located south and west of East Jeter Road and east of Gibbons Road. Denton County Property ID 101470 and 65096. Case number ZON 2026-001. Planning and zoning recommended approval by a vote of 5-0 at its April 1st meeting. Staff presentation, Marcy.
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Sams, submitted a request to rezone, the two tracts from agricultural to RE5. If you will recall, the agricultural district requires a minimum of 10 acres. So currently neither lot meets the minimum 10 acre size. So he is requesting to rezone and he wants to replat the two tracts. 590, as it's 590 East Jeter Road will be a little less than its current. I think it's 5.85. It'll be a little less than that, be about 5.5. And he's adding just a little finger to the back of 630 East Jeter Road. So it'll be about 1.5 acres when he finishes. So 590 East Jeter will meet the requirements of the RE5. 630 East Jeter Road will not meet the requirements, but it comes a lot closer than it did if the rezone gets approved. Currently, 630 East Jeter Road and 590 East Jeter Road, neither one meets the current requirements of the agricultural district. It is a land use plan for RE5, so the request meets the comprehensive plan, which is a good thing. He will need variances, and he has made application for those. If the zoning gets approved, those variances will go to the Board of Zoning Adjustment. Both lots, neither lot meets the minimum lot width. Neither lot meets the minimum street frontage. Whether it's in ag or RE5, neither one of them will meet. 630 East Jeter Road, it will not meet the minimum acreage, but it's a lot closer than it was. And he's going to request again a variance to the rear yard. There was previously a variance to the rear yard that's already approved on the current lot. Yeah, and that was approved in December of 2025. The Planning and Zoning Commission did recommend approval of this request to rezone approximately 7 acres from ag to RE5. There were no conditions with their recommendation. I'll be happy to entertain any questions you have regarding this application.
Just summarize, make sure. So we're asking to take the non-conforming ag and put it into a conforming RE5 to the one lot, and then the other small lot will be closer than it is today. And all we're voting on is taking it out of agriculture for today, right?
And putting it in RE5.
Yes,
Putting it
sir.
into RE5.
That is correct.
I asked a question that I want to ask it again, just for the purposes of this hearing. To our council, so. 590 will be RE5 compliant once we do this. It's the 630 that I was kind of focused on. Even though it's constrained by its physical acreage limitation, right now 1 acre and possibly 1.2. This lies within an RE5 zone. So it can only be rezoned as RE5, even though it doesn't make the acreage requirement. That still complies with our land use plan as we have it. We would be changing our land use.
Correct, this does not change the land use plan, this zoning change, it is done to be so that this lot is in conformance with the land use plan. Any future variance relating to the minimum lot size or the other issues that are identified on the screen, they'll have to come back to a future zoning board of adjustment meeting.
And those variances run with the property for that.
Right. So he's trying to make the best out of a difficult situation, given the acreage he has.
Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay. Time being 8:35, I open the public hearing. Staff have any responses?
Yes, Mayor, we did receive one in favor from Donna and Lester Bumgardner at 890 East Jeter.
Thank you. Would anyone like to speak on this? Time being 8:35, I'll close the public hearing. We have a motion.
I will make a motion to, approve the rezoning of the two tracts that contain approximately 7 acres from agricultural district ag to residential estates 5, RE5. Legally described as track 1 and track 4 of the Virginia Morrison Subdivision division out of the AM Delta Survey, that's track number 1594, town of Bartonville, Denton County, Texas, and addressed as 590 and 630 East Jeter Road, Bartonville, Texas 76226.
Second.
All those in favor? Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, council. Chief, could you ask Clay to come back in? Thank you.
I drew the short.
You did.
Yeah, to do your voice up.
That's all right. Okay, I think I've done that.
Yeah, well, it's not planned. Yeah, that's okay. Probably just you can do. Number 3, hold a public hearing, discuss and consider request for conditional use permits for request for incentive property zone ag containing approximately 16.32 acres legally described as lot 2, Tucker Addition, Town of Bartonville, Denton, Texas. Denton County, Texas is currently addressed as 987 Gibbons Road, Bartonville, Texas 76226. The property is generally located on the east side of Gibbons Road at the northeast corner of Hidden Oaks Trail and south of Dove Creek Road. Denton County property ID 1085825. Case number ZON 2026-002. Planning and zoning recommended approval by a vote of 5-0 at the first meeting. Staff presentation, Marcia.
Yes, ma'am. Before you are on the screen, the area outlined in yellow is where the CEP will be. And I'll show you the site plan here in a few minutes, but this is the area, both of those tracks, one on the north outlined in red, and the one on the south will also need a few variances due to lot size and setbacks. This case went before the Board of Adjustment on March 31st this year, and they received variances to the side yard setback on the northern property line of the southern lot. So right here. And that variance allows him to push the roping arena and the barn as far north as he could possibly. And the hatched area that you see on the site plan, this is where the trees are located. So he worked really hard trying to preserve the existing trees and to not disturb the existing creeks that run through the property. On the bottom, there's a rectangle, and that's the general location of a future residence. We just want to make sure where it's gonna generally be and that he understands the barn's gotta be behind the house. That access to the roping arena will be from Gibbons Road, and so he'll only have the one driveway entrance there. And you can see the topography on this image. You can see where the creek bed is. He is proposing several. Sorry, I'm totally blank. Retaining walls in certain areas. To keep everything in, everything from flowing, any of the area flowing back into the creek. The applicant on the site plan addressed several issues that staff thought the council and the surrounding residents might have, and this was regarding dust control. There's seating area, there's no grandstands proposed. That the building heights, everything meets the zoning ordinance requirements. No signage is proposed, no fire lanes or fire hydrants are required with this. No screening walls are required. All proposed lighting will be in accordance with the zoning ordinance. Chapter 28.3A, and all noise created by the equestrian center shall be in accordance with chapter 37.3A. The planning and zoning commission did recommend approval by 5-0 with one condition. The property owner shall be required to spread equally over the open space areas of the property. I'll be happy to entertain any questions that you might have. These are the actual notes that are on the site plan.
Any questions? Thank you, Marcy. Applicant presentation, Marty, do you want to speak? Okay.
Good evening, Mayor and Town Council and Town Staff. My name is Karen King with McAdams. The address is 4400 State Highway 121, Suite 800, Louisville, Texas 75056. I am here to kind of just walk through some items that Marcy hasn't already covered. Thank you for your presentation. The intent for this property is a private roping arena with an accessory barn and a future home. She spoke a little bit about the retaining wall. I just wanted to touch base that those are more like 2x2 step down block retaining walls, very natural, not some huge large retaining wall that you'll see out there. She covered the notes that we put on the site plan that, you know, there's no public parking, there's no grandstands, there's dust will be controlled by sprinkle like your typical arena. And then discuss a little bit why we asked for the variance on the north side and how we push that equestrian center up to the far north, and that is to preserve the trees and the existing creek. And then as you can see, there's a large amount of topography across the site. It's about 30 feet. So I was kind of challenging to grade. I did want to ask town council to reconsider the condition. We do not feel that it's suitable for a private property like this. I feel like it is asking anybody with a barn or any type of livestock to spread their manure, like the condition reads. So I would like y'all to reconsider that. I'm here and Mark's here. Do you have any questions?
To reconsider, I'm sorry, could you repeat that again?
Reconsider the condition that was placed.
Marty? You can answer this question for me.
Yes, sir.
So are you going to be, other than bringing animals in, your horses and your cattle to store growth, whatever? Are you just bringing them in for the practice and then you take them back to some other, or are you gonna keep animals on the property?
We'll have some animals on the property. We have a holding pen. Of course, we have the other part of the pasture that they can turn out on.
Yeah.
Of course, I've leased property from Otis and Cherry, so I have lots of space to put cattle. When you, maybe if it's all season, I'm trying to get them off my property, whatever, but, anyway, I think the point Carol was trying to make is that, I'm gonna do my best, to, you know, protect and make sure the place stays in good working order and keep it looking great. I think I've demonstrated that you can count on me for that, so.
So are you planning on having both horses and cattle, or just horses there?
Horses mainly, and then maybe a few roping steers.
Yeah, right. I hear you do bring them in and out,
Yes, sir.
and on the.
What do you plan on putting, where putting money there? Just live on certain area there, or what would be the objection, you just pay it?
Well, no objection, other than, not having to worry about a condition.
Yeah, and I won't speak for P and Z too much, but I think what they're trying to accomplish we've heard in the past where somebody decided to put a manure pile next to a neighbor's fence.
Oh,
And that's what's driving the
well,
spread.
as long as Richard maintains being a good neighbor.
I got no problem.
But I think that was probably, I mean, I think
Yeah.
that's the goal, it's not how you spread it, it's where you don't pile it.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I mean. You know, it is obviously a plan to spread it. I mean, it'll be great compost and. Maybe even start a business out of there. I mean, I could take Richards, I could do Bullers, I could take care of a lot of folks. Mon, I could come spread some of yours too.
Your horses are gonna be grazed, I mean, they're gonna be grazed, they're gonna be spreading it naturally. I have cattle at my house, I know other people do as well. But I only got 4 head.
Yes, sir.
Are they talking about like if you keep, are you gonna keep them in the barn?
Well, I have the horses in the barn and then that's why we asked for the 25-foot variance off the north side, so we could have runs. We've got 25-foot runs on the south side.
Yeah.
And then there'll be a place, if I wanted to turn them out, I could, but it would be on the south side of the property. But I'm sure they'll mainly be in the stall and I'll be riding them, you know.
That's probably what they're talking about is mucking stalls and where's you gonna put the? I guess, probably, are you gonna pile it or pile it off?
Well, no, I don't want it to pile,
Yeah.
you know, I've got plenty of land, I can compost and spread it, keep it looking good, I may bring it to the venue, I mean, it's. Plenty of places I can.
It sounds like you're okay with the spirit of what they.
Yeah.
I have one other question too, on the future house, would the ingress egress to that be on to?
I know what you're talking about, it's not placed properly, it's gonna be off Gibbons, it'll face Gibbons.
It will also, the potential future home would also come in off Gibbons, Martin?
Yes, sir, that's the plan, yes, sir,
Okay.
yes,
I just
we,
wanted to understand.
it's,
I don't know if it was going on to put it on.
yeah, it does look like it's.
And the barn will be behind the house.
Yes, ma'am.
Or setback.
Yeah, once we flip the house, it'll even look like it's.
Yeah.
So the main entrance would be there, would you anticipate having a secondary ingress egress point off his way somewhere?
I mean, that would be awesome, some point, but we're probably.
That's why I'm asking now, because.
2 or 3 years away from doing a house, but, you know, it'd be great if I had a little side entrance off the back, but.
Get trailers out or something, maybe.
Yeah.
Is the entrance way you have that you have there now, the existing that you just built, is that going to remain as your main entrance?
No, once we get all this stuff behind us, we're gonna, get to work on it pretty quick, as soon as we can get grading permit, and then as part of this whole entire facility, we're gonna put in a nicer entrance, we'll have stone columns, we'll have a concrete entrance curved, and it'll look really good.
What kind of, you're gonna be using the crew cab trucks, I'm assuming, and what kind of trailers?
Just a horse trailer.
Looks like a bloomer trailer.
Yeah, Bloomer, I think the one I have is XL, 4-horse.
What I'm trying to. We've had this issue in some other places where we asked that the gate be set deep.
Oh, yes, sir.
So that way, when you got your horse and your truck and trailer, you're off the road, not impeding traffic.
I think we're 40 feet.
Yeah.
40, okay, all right, that's,
That'll get easy.
No problem.
that should be okay.
And I'll probably have a electric gate,
Yeah,
but,
And also on wide turn radiuses as well, that's not your standard.
yeah, it's enough to get the trailer in. It's just those, cause it's hard to get some of those trucks.
Oh, totally.
Arrow drive, so make it easy on yourself.
yes, sir, yes, sir.
Any other questions?
I have one more, Marty,
Yes, sir.
So what kind of material are you gonna use in your rope area for, because there's different types you can use to prevent dust and all that. I don't know if you thought that far ahead yet.
Well, we're gonna bring in kind of a pretty high grade arena sand.
Okay.
And we're gonna have good compaction, obviously, we'll have water trucks, and we're actually getting the geo on the soil that's there, so that when we bring in all the base and everything else, it's. Puts us in a good place for stability. So the guy that's building it builds arenas, and I don't even know what he sourced, someplace. Weatherford, around there, but it's pretty high quality. It won't be like the traditional sand that does blow, this will be somewhat more stable.
That's why I was asking, there's some materials that are less dust prone, and I just wanted to see if you were thinking about that.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, to spray your. That's again, another chore.
It is, yes.
So,
But I'll probably end up having a sprayer and just keep it shredder, I mean, a sprayer to drag,
yeah,
to keep it in good working order.
Any other questions?
that's all.
Thank you.
Marty.
Hey, you're welcome. Thank y'all. Thank you.
Time being 8:50, open the public hearing. Staff, have y'all received any? comment?
I did receive 2 responses and they were from Linda and Anthony Macnicky, thank you, at 1101 Brasher Drive, Bartonville, and they were opposed. And then we have 2 people that have signed up to speak tonight. The first one is Otis Fuller.
Otis Fuller. You wanna you put the map up where I'll show you where my place is. It's right across Gibbons Road. It's, excuse me. This one right here. I have 20 acres there that fronts Gibbons almost across from Marty B. And then the back of my property goes to Dyer Road, which we share access to that road, Dyer on the back of my property. In the past, I've leased the land for hay production. And it hasn't gone very well. There's not much money in hay probably, and the place hasn't looked very well. It doesn't look, I haven't been proud of it. Doesn't look good for the city. Yorkshire's probably been looking at it for a lot of years, and it's covered with trees, greenbriers, and you drive by and you can't even see the land. So it hasn't been that good a situation. And recently, Marty came over and offered to lease our property. And I made a pretty good investment in fences and cutting those trees and all. And the reason I did it is because I thought Marty B would be the exact person to take good care of the property. And that's my goal, is to have the property taken care of. I live at Frisco Lakes in Frisco, so I haven't been able to take care of it, and he's already started working on it. So I'm just proud to have him as a neighbor, and I'm ready to see the arena and the barn go up right across the road from me. I think it's gonna look real good, and I can't see that it wouldn't be good for the neighborhood. And as far as the setback, if Yorkshires are fine with it, well, I think we should all be good with it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Cherry Fuller.
I'm sorry, I didn't check that I was gonna speak.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's what the card's for.
Oh, I thought it was an attendance. I'm here. And I support that very much.
Thank you. That is all that I have.
Thank you. Time being 8:53, I'll close the public hearing. Any more questions or discussion? You have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve for the conditional use permit CUP for an equestrian center on property zone in agricultural district AG containing approximately 16.32 acres. Legally described as Lot 2 SPT Tucker Addition, Town of Bartonville, Denton County, Texas, and currently addressed at 987 Gibbons Road, Bartonville, Texas, 76226. The property is generally located on the east side of Gibbons Road at the northeast corner of Hidden Oaks and is at Hidden Oaks Trail and south of Dove Creek Road. Denton County property is 1085825, case number ZON to 2026-002. The planning and zoning approval for this, and I make motion that we with the condition We discussed it and we approve it with the condition.
Okay, do I have a second?
Just make one change, at the time when we wrote the language for the agenda, we didn't know the exact address. And because he's replatting it, so the address is 989.
989.
Yes, ma'am, but the PID number is correct.
Okay.
From 90.
Yeah.
All those in favor? Motion carries 4-0.
I'm sorry, who seconded that?
I did.
Thank you.
Thank you. This phone looks so good.
Very well.
Number 4, hold a public hearing, discuss and consider request for a waiver from chapter 10 subdivision regulations, exhibit A, development ordinance, chapter 3. Subdivision design standards, section 3.5 lots, subsection B to allow for creation of a flag lot on a regularly shaped tract of land. The property is 105.82 acre tract, being described as lot 2, block A, Robert Evans Ranch Edition. Town of Bartonville, Denton, Texas. Denton County, Texas, located on the south side of West Jeter Road. The property is generally located on 1047 West Jeter Road, case number DOW 2026-001. Planning and zoning recommended approval of the vote by 5-0 at its April 1st meeting. Staff presentation, Ashley.
Yes, ma'am. On the screen, you can see, there's 2 existing lots today, and the applicant is wishing to create a 3rd lot. And so they're going to take a portion of lot 1 and a portion of lot 2. And when they do that, they are creating a lot in the kind of golden orange area. This is the proposed lot 3. The proposed lot 3 is, I want to say, it's 13, what was it? Yeah, it's approximately 14 acres. The creation of this lot, and you have to remember that this lot is extremely deep. This is over 105 acres. The depth going back to the very rear lot line of lot 2 is almost half a mile. You won't be able to see it from the front. The 3rd lot, in combination with lot 1 and 2, will have a shared driveway access, so there will not be 3 separate driveway accesses. There is a current driveway that is located on lot 2, and it goes all the way back, and most of it is paved. Their plans for in the future are to totally pave all of it, so it's a lot of concrete, so getting back there. They went before the Board of Zoning Adjustment in March, and by a vote of 5-0, they received a variance for the minimum lot width. The minimum lot width, it is met at the building line, but as you go back, the lot narrows down to 100 feet wide. So therefore, that's what makes it a flagpole lot. The development ordinance or subdivision regulations state that no flag lots are allowed. And so they are requesting a waiver to that. And the waiver is, basically the waiver is based on the size and the depth of the lot. When in your packet, there are pictures of the gate. You will never even know that there's a lot 3 in the back. You'll never see it. Lot 1 contains the highest portion of the property, and it drops back down towards the south. This is not a typical lot size. And I believe that is why the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval. Be happy entertaining questions you have regarding this application.
All we're doing here is allowing a waiver to create a flat lot. That's all we're being asked to do today.
Yes, sir. That is correct.
All right, and it's, I mean,
There's already one flag out there.
yeah, I mean, it's a huge piece of property. If you're gonna put that, that's about the only way to do it. So
Obviously, if you look at that piece of property, what greater way to keep a large tract for the future, and we should, so you know, just a lot of trees, and you really leave that country.
Yeah.
Because there's not much else you can do with that piece of property the way it's shaped.
Any other questions? The applicant, Tracy? You want to speak?
Or answer questions if you have any.
Anybody have any questions for the applicant?
I really don't have any questions.
No questions.
If you want to say something, you can.
Well, this is my third meeting this month. We're just trying to create a lot to, give to one of our children for them to build a house on. And, we've been here since 2015 and we plan to be here for the rest of our lives. So, they want to build a house at the very back of our property and it looks kind of strange, but that's the only way we could figure out to get it positioned. You know, we're not gonna build another road. There's not gonna be a new road. There's not gonna be a new entrance. And we wanted them back there so that we could see them all the time.
She just wants to see the grandchildren.
Yes, that's correct.
There's.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Time being 9:01, open the public hearing. Any responses, staff?
Thank you, Mayor. We did not receive any responses by email, mail, or anything, and I do not have anybody to sign up tonight.
Thank you. Time being 9:01, I'll close the public hearing. Do I have a motion?
Go ahead.
I move that we approve the, development ordinance. Waiver, chapter 10 subdivision regulations, exhibit A, development ordinance. Chapter 3 subdivision design standards, section 3.5, lot subsection D to allow for the creation of a flag lot on an irregularly shaped tract of land. The property is 105.82 acre tract of land being described as Lot 2, Block A, Robert Evans Ranch Edition, Town of Bartonville.
Second.
All those in favor? Motion carries 4-0. Thank you, Commissioner. Future agenda items and any future agenda items. Just a reminder that the next meeting is Tuesday, May 6:30. Everybody. So, thank you. Time being 9:02, meetings adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna get it.
So.